Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The market has been interesting in the last week, interesting in the fact that there has been some trends finally, and especially after the Fed announcement regarding the interest rate, we've had some movement in the market. So it looks like the market is back trending again. So we look for trading opportunities for the next coming week. Right, guys, so please make note that our next course starts on the 5th of July. So you can already start booking for the course on our website. So you'll find the contact details under the description of all our videos. The link to the website is also under the description of all our videos. So you can book the course, you can purchase the course, you'll get the full recorded course, which you can watch before the live one starts on the 5th of July. So what do you learn in the course? It's not just the basics of the Elliott wave theory, which we will obviously cover because you need the principles. But what is more critical about the course is the application. I think most people can comprehend the theory. You can learn the theory, you know how to label 1, 2, 3, the A, B, C, W, X, Y, and all of that. But the practical application is what is absolutely critical. And as if you've seen our videos and how we make it look so easy, it looks easy when we do it, but you have to be able to identify the structures, understand the relationship between Fibonacci and Elliott wave, mathematical relationship between wave theory and the trading as well. So that is what we cover. It's a 10-day course, intensive 10-day course that we do. So the advantage of purchasing the course before time is so that you will have watched the course, you'll get to interact when we have the live one from the 5th of July. So all our contact details under the description of the video there. That is the link to our website as well as our social media pages. You can also find our Twitter feed on the homepage of our website. Follow us there for updates on the market. Right, so let's go straight into the market. Right, Euro US dollar. So there has been a movement after the Fed announcement. The Fed has taken a hawkish tone, planning to increase the interest rate from around 2023. They anticipate that from around 2023, the economy will start recovering from the global COVID-19 pandemic. So it was a hawkish tone, although the interest rate remained unchanged. But the fact that they had a hawkish tone, the market reacted positively for the US dollar. That's why you saw the US dollar strength there. So let's see how the market will set up for the next week. So I've got a monthly chart here on Euro US dollar, and I'm going to show you a couple of high degree charts here, high time frame charts here, so you can have a good perspective of what to expect in the market over the next coming weeks, months, and sometimes even years. So how have we been looking at Euro US dollar? We have been looking at Euro US dollar, to be correcting this one here. This is a monthly chart, by the way. So this is the structure on the monthly. So we've been looking to correct this. So this is obviously high level. I'm not going to go into the details of the structures and the labelings here within this. So I'm just showing you the high level structure here. So we have been looking at this, has made an impulsive move here with 5 waves here. We're looking at this as an A, B, and a C. So the reason why you've seen us labeling this as a 5-wave here, or as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, is because we're looking at this. Now the question is this 3 still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here in this degree, and to complete this C? Yes, absolutely, it is still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and we'll go down to the lower time frame and look at that. Okay, so let's go down to the lower time frame, to the daily, and look at the structure and how we looked at the structures last week. So this is the daily chart on Euro US dollar. So if you remember what we're looking at here on Euro US dollar, we have been looking at these to have completed a 4th wave here. Let's have a look at that. Let's make it clear. 1, 2, 3. We're looking at this one to be a 4th wave and a move to the upside. So we are already counting 5 waves for this one. So obviously you can see that this went up correctively and it is now coming down. So that means that is not the entire wave 4, and our wave 4 is going to play out something like this. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that wave 4. So this is going to be a double structure here. WXY corrective structure here for our wave 4. It will still be our wave 4 in this fashion 1 2. So the reason why we are not looking at this to be making a complete reversal is because the bigger structure that you've seen on the monthly has not completed as yet. So we'll be looking for this one to go then and complete that wave like this wave 4, 3 waves down here. Let's show it with the right color. So we're going to have 3 waves down here, we're going to have 3 waves up here, 3 waves down here. Then only then will we look for upside here. So that will be our wave 4 in the yellow degree, and then we look for the wave 5. Provided that wave 4 does not come into the territory of wave 1, that is our invalidation level. Otherwise, we are still bullish long term on Euro US dollar. We are currently making pullbacks on Euro US dollar and bullish DXY currently because of that. So what is the structure on the 4 hour? Let's go to the 4 hours. What do you need to look out for? So you're going to look for a reaction on the 4 hour as follows. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's get the right chart here. Right, so looking at the structure here, what we need to look out for is a reaction here, pull back and a move to the downside. So we are going to look for a similar structure as this that made a move to the downside. So when this one played out here, we're looking at this to have completed the wave 4, but we're clearly not. So we'll be looking for these 3 waves. We've got the 3 waves to the downside. We've got these as 3 waves. So we're going to look for a reaction here. So this can still push down, make a bounce here, make a move to the downside before any push to the upside. That's how we're going to be looking at Euro US dollar. The DXY, similar structure. So short-term dollar strength there, you can see the DXY has done the same thing. So we'll be waiting for a pullback, may still push to the upside before we get that pullback and then upside. So let's have a look at the bigger daily structure on the DXY. So this is the 4 hour on the DXY, similar to what we have on Euro US dollar. We're looking for this one here, 1 2 3. 1 can push to the upside here, 2 and 3 like that. So that is the DXY, and that's the structure that we're going to look for here on the DXY. Continuation to the upside for the next coming sessions. That is the 4 hour and the daily. It just should see the daily as well. So on the daily, it's very clear that we will be looking for these 3 waves. This is 3 waves. We'll look for the similar 3 waves here. Could possibly go up to the 50% or at about 96 to give us this corrective structure here. That is Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar. Now looking at Pound US dollar, let's look at that.
$1 is 14 Rand and 39 cents.
Right, so Pound US dollar on the daily. Let's have a look at the daily chart. Last week I showed a couple of high time frame charts here. So Pound US dollar last week, we're looking at this to be making another push to the upside here. The last one to 144. This was our target before the reversal. So as I said last week, it does not have to take 144 because the bigger structure is already confirmed. So let's look at the 4 hour before I go to the weekly and see what we're looking at before the Fed minutes happened. So let's have a look at the 4 hour chart here. All right, so Pound US dollar, this is what we have here on the daily chart. So I want to look at the weekly chart first, then we'll go to, I wanted to look at the 4 hour first, how we were looking at Pound US dollar before the Fed meeting announcement, the Fed interest rate decision. So this is what we're looking at here on Pound US dollar. And I want to talk a bit about the indicator that we use here. So we've got this is the structure that we're looking at here. We're looking at these to be making a corrective structure. That's the structure that we looked at last week as well. We're looking at this one here. We were around this level here. We're looking for this to come around this level. Why were we looking for this? As much as we were looking for this, we're still looking for this to make one more up to 144 to complete the structure, but the indicator was telling us downside. So this is what I keep talking about, the indicator. It will tell you the direction, but it won't tell you how far this will go. As far as the structure and the sequence, that is why you need to understand wave theory and not only rely on the indicator alone. So the indicator here was showing us downside. We thought that that was only showing us up to the 3-wave pullback and then upside. So if you look at the weekly, this is the structure that we showed as well. You would not have been keen to buy this if you looked at this. This is what we showed last week. So look at the structure, the flat correction, and the reason why we've been buying pound US dollar for months is because of this structure. Is this structure now starting to play out? We're going to start getting the move to the downside. We also showed you this chart here from a couple of weeks back on pound US dollar, showing exactly how we're forecasting the next 5 to 10 years on pound US dollar. Let's have a look at the weekly chart here. So on the pound US dollar, so this chart was from April. This is actually the latest updated one. So we're looking for this to push to the upside to about 144 and then a drop, looking at this to be a simple diagonal here. So that's all we're looking for here now. So now the question is, do we start with this wave 5 now to the downside? And it looks like we're about to start. So we're going to be waiting for any confirmation of a trade setup to the downside. So any trade setup that we get to the downside, whether it's on the 4 or the 1 hour, we're going to start looking to take those. That is pound US dollar, looking very clear. Looking very clear on pound US dollar. So we'll be watching that. Right, Chief. US dollar Chief. US dollar Chief obviously tracks the dollar index. You'll be looking for this on the weekly. Let's go to the lower time frame. So in the lower time frame on the 4 hour, you're simply looking for a pullback. You've got a 5-wave structure. This started with a 5-wave structure as follows. That is a 5. That is a correction. We're looking for another 5 here. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have this one pushing to the upside. We're going to have a pullback. We're going to have a move to the upside. This should go up in 5 waves, the same way we've had 5 waves here in the beginning and this corrective structure here on US dollar Chief. So continuation to the upside on US dollar Chief until we get a pullback. All right, so this is US dollar CAD. We've spoken about US dollar CAD for almost every week. When this was playing out, we've been looking for US dollar Chief to get to 120. Even when we got to 120, we said relax a bit, do not rush into it. Even when it was making a base here for a reversal, if you've been watching these videos, you will know that this is what we've been looking for. We have made a reversal now. Now we can start looking for trades for the long term to the upside on US dollar CAD. This is a weekly chart. Textbook 3-3-5 structure on a flat correction, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 5 here. So these 5 waves is what we've been trading up until we got to 120. We've now made an impulsive move to the upside. We can start looking for trade setups to the upside on US dollar CAD, and it's looking good for more upside. Let's have a look at the lower degree on US dollar CAD and look at the 4 hour. So what we're seeing here is a clear impulsive move. We've started a move to the upside. So if you just go and buy as it is, make note here, there looks to be starting up with 5 waves here. This is the 3rd wave. We're going to have a 4 and a 5. Then we're going to have a deeper pullback before we actually go. So if you just rush into this one, you have to look at the cycle here. We may be getting it at a pullback at about 50% on this one. This is US dollar CAD. Right, Audi US dollar. Now, Audi US dollar, let's look at the bigger structure here. So last week we were looking at this to be making 1, 2, 3 here with this complex correction here, and looked for this one to come around this level. So that's what we have here now on Audi US dollar. Let's have a look at the structure here. So we started with 3 waves to the downside here. Just like Euro US dollar, we thought we were going to give 5 waves to the upside, but it was actually a corrective move as follows. So it's 3 down, 3 up, and we're looking for this one to be making another 3 down here. This is US dollar, which Audi US dollar, it should continue to the downside still. Similar to New Zealand. So New Zealand is making a simple zigzag here, 5 waves to the downside, 3 waves up, and we're looking for this one to make another 5 waves to the downside here. So that's not going to go down in a straight line. It looks like we're starting with 5 waves, 1, 2. We're currently in the third wave here. We'll look for this one to make the 5th waves there around that level. That is New Zealand. US dollar ZAR is playing out inch perfect. This is obviously correlated to US dollar CAD, and the other, it falls under the BRICS currencies. So we've talked about US dollar ZAR for days, for months, looking for this to make a structure like this and reverse it exactly the area where it has reversed now at about 1350. 1, 2, 3. 3 waves there. So we've got 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. 11 swing sequence, W, X, Y, X, Z. Now we've made a pullback here. Do we start getting trades to the upside? As I said last time, at least back to the 50% of the whole move. That is the next target for US dollar ZAR. So look for those setups to the upside. Any 4-hour or 1-hour setup that's confirmed by the indicator, you start looking for upside there on US dollar ZAR. Pound yen. Now let's have a look at pound yen. So pound yen as well, we're looking for this to get to 156 first. It has touched 156, but the actual target where the pinpointed level was 156.71 that we wanted. So even when it was here, we still wanted it to touch here before it makes a move to the downside. But at the same time, there was this structure that we're seeing here on the weekly. Let's go to the yen pairs here. So if you look at the yen pairs on pound yen, this chart I showed last week as well. Before this move, look at the weekly chart and where we are. This is what I showed last week. So that we are here and we want to make a push to the downside. So the next setup, the next forecast for the next coming 10 to 15 years. So that's what we have here on pound yen. We are currently here. We've started a move to the downside. Looks like we are ready for that wave C. That wave C, the move we've seen to the downside looks to have started the wave 1 to the downside here, and we look for 5 waves to the downside here on pound yen. This is where we are, so that looks like there's the move to the downside starting there. We'll be looking for that to make a push to the downside. So that is pound yen. Look at it on the weekly here. On the current chart, this is where we are. This is where we are. We are currently here. That is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not forced, 5 waves. The reason why we've been buying this. Now we're currently at this reversal area. Once we confirm the trend reversal, which we're about to, then we start trading this to the downside. Could be an impulsive move. So look at where we are around 152. So the next target will be at about 120, which is about 3,000 pips from current levels. Right, so that is pound yen. Look for lower time frame entries to the downside. US dollar yen. Now, US dollar yen, guys, this is going to eventually get to 120 in the long term. This will eventually get to 120 in the long term. So since 2015, on 2015, 2016, we have been building up this corrective structure here on US dollar yen. Now, most of the yen pairs are showing long-term downside, but this one is showing upside. So this is possibly going to be driven by the US dollar. So the structure here, let me show you the structure that I'm looking at here on US dollar yen. So the structure here is we've got an impulse. We've got an impulsive move to the upside here. We've got a correction. This correction, I'm going to draw it in red, but it is in the same degree as that. I just want you to see it clearly and separate it from that. So we're looking at that as a move to the downside, and we are looking for this to go and make a move like this. It can retest the 120 level or the 126, but we'll be looking for only 120, and we'll look for something like this. This is going to be a very interesting structure. It's a very interesting structure. If it plays out like this, we'll look for this there. We look for this there. So this is a long-term focus, guys. This can take about a whole year before it plays out. So for now, if we get a structure here, if we get confirmation that the red correction is done, we are going to trade the next 1,200 pips to the upside here on US dollar yen. So let's have a look at it in the lower degree. Do we have any confirmation of upside? Let's have a look at the 4-hour. Once we confirm that we're out of that structure, we're going to start trading it to the upside. So currently we are here. If these can pull back to around these levels, gives us a blue box setup, we're going to hold it all the way. If it doesn't, still doesn't matter. That can still be the pullback. This one, a leading diagonal here. It's a leading diagonal. We're going to get a pullback like that, and this is going to now start making a move to the upside. So keep an eye on US dollar yen, but for now, because the yen pairs are pulling back, these can start pulling back with the rest of the yen pairs with this structure. So we would really like to get US dollar yen around this level for more upside. So let's see how that goes. Now, looking at US dollar yen, I want to start with CHF yen. So CHF yen, we are looking for a pullback. I also showed this structure last week and how we're looking for a pullback at current levels. So look at this one here. We had a move to the downside in 3 waves, but we've got the 3 waves here, which is at the blue box. That's why you see the big reversal there at current levels. So from around 130, 123 on US dollar CHF, that's a 3-wave structure. And after that, we're looking for this to make a move to the downside. So is that the reversal on US dollar CHF? Now, if we're going to start a move or a pullback on US CHF yen, we will expect US dollar yen to do the same, make a pullback here. So can we get a structure like this? The market does not move in a straight line, guys. It may not play out like this. This is the most likely scenario. The most likely scenario, as much as we're going to go down, we can get this one coming down in 3 waves, you can get this one coming up here in 5, and then you can get this one to the downside. So the market is not as straightforward. So that's why you need to anticipate both possibilities here. So that will be A, B, C corrective structure here to the downside. For now, we're looking for these guys. Look for entries in the lower degrees here on the 4 or the 1 hour to the downside. So we wait for those setups. You're going to need to be very patient, especially after they've made such a big move. You don't just go and sell here, because if you can find yourself selling here, you get a pullback, and then this one starts making a move to the downside. So the challenge here is that if you just sell it here, you don't know how far this pullback is going to go, and that's what's going to make you panic. CAD yen, again, another one that we've shown. The bigger structure. Let's have a look at CAD yen weekly chart. We looked at all of these last week. Let's load it up there. CAD yen, this is the structure here. We came to 90, flat correction. The forecast here was an expanding flat, does not have to be an expanding flat. We are currently here. So it looks like we are starting to make a move to the downside with the Y. Now let's go look at that in the lower degree. So that is this reversal here. Is this the confirmed reversal? Are we starting the Y move to the downside? That's what we're going to be looking at here. So look for pullbacks here. And if you're looking for a trade setup, it has to be on the 4 or the 1 hour to the downside, preferably the 4 hour, and confirmed with the indicator. That's where we are here with CAD yen. New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, look at those structures that we discussed here last week. So we're looking for this to simply do that, and this one to come down here. All of this, if you look at last week's videos or the week before, we were looking for them to come and reach us these lows here. We are currently here. Is this going to push to the upside? I do not think so. It's just going to make a reaction here, and we're going to see continuation to the downside. But let's wait for this to trade around these levels. Only then can we start making a decision and looking for setups here. That is New Zealand yen, AUD yen as well. Exactly as forecasted, we expected that this was going to come here. We were looking at this as 3 waves down, and this one is 3 waves to the upside, and this one to come down, whether with an impulse or a 3-wave structure to the downside. So that has happened now. So what happens from here? If we start getting setups to the downside, that means that's the end of the bigger move to the upside, and we're going to start getting short-term trades to the downside on AUD yen. Right. Gold is a similar structure to Euro US dollar. Let's have a look at gold. So gold, we're also looking for only a pullback here. Indicator, we're looking for this one to just give us a move to around these levels before we push to the upside. But if you look at the bigger structure here again on the gold, you'll see that this corrective structure is not done, and we are simply looking at it as a corrective structure. As much as it's coming down here, does not mean it's a reversal. We're looking at it as a corrective structure. So it's the same way we have it as on Euro US dollar. This was 3 waves down. This is now 3 waves to the upside, and we're going to be looking for this one to come down here like that. That's the structure that we're looking at on gold. So there are two ways to look at this, but the one that is most likely is this one. We're looking at this as a W, X, and a Y. Another 3 waves before we push to the upside. Let's do this one in 3 as follows: 1, 2, 3, W, X, Y, and then upside. Okay, but for now, the weekly chart and the weekly and the indicators are showing us short-term downside here. So we're going to be looking for this one here to come down. So the next, another scenario is that this is a running flat here. Look at that running flat on the weekly, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 before we push to the upside. Either way, the bias is the same here. We'll just wait for confirmation there, but we're looking for downside. Silver. So silver, we are simply in this corrective structure. Simply in this corrective structure, we looked at this one to be a diagonal. We looked at this one to be a diagonal, and it's still a valid diagonal, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that diagonal is only making an A move like that. The B is as follows. So this is the B that will play, that could potentially play out on silver, and then we'll get a C here, making a complex correction there as follows: 3 waves down, correction, complex in purple, and then we look for upside. But where are we currently? Currently, we are here. We'll be tracking this. We'll be looking for silver to come around these levels. Maybe even retest the 22 level that we were looking at when we were around this level. So that is silver, so we'll look for this one to come down. We're currently here. Look for 4-hour and 1-hour setups to the downside. Platinum. I just want to look at platinum here on the weekly. So platinum on the weekly looked like it was making a 3-wave pullback here. Is that all that we're going to get on platinum, as it's going to make a push to the upside? That will have a big impact on the other metals, that is silver and gold. But until silver and gold starts making a pullback, we'll be watching silver for platinum for direction as well. Brent crude continues to the upside. Let's look at the 4-hour here. So Brent crude, we're making a pullback. It's much needed pullback, correction on Brent crude. We've not had a decent correction since the start of the move to the upside. Could even give us a structure like this. This will be a decent one for an entry for more upside. Pound CAD. So Pound CAD continues to push to the upside with a messy structure. This is what we're looking at here. So pulsing move to the upside. We've got this correction here in 3 waves as follows, and we're making a move to the upside like that. So that's a simple ABC corrective structure. So that means our C here should be a diagonal. So we're looking at this one to end with an ending diagonal with 1, 2, 3, 4. We could be going for the last wave one or last wave, 5th wave here before we continue to the downside. That is how Pound CAD is playing out. Pound AUD. Pound AUD continues to push to the upside. So the bigger structure here, let's have a look at the bigger structure on the daily on Pound AUD. Now, if you want to understand how all these lines work, the relationship between all these lines that I'm plotting, you can look to join our course. That's where we detail these complex corrections and the very basics of the wave theory. Right, so this is what we're looking at here. So this is the 3-wave structure here. So it's more than just these lines that I'm drawing here. This only a front end of a very detailed analysis. So we're still looking for this to continue pushing to the upside. No reversal as yet on Pound AUD. We're going to see this continue to the upside. Same as Pound New Zealand. We're going to see it continue to the upside. We've got this structure here. We're looking for it to make a push to around these levels. Okay, so that is Pound New Zealand. Pound CHF. I'm on the daily still. It's a very clear structure on the daily. Pound CHF, we're still going to look for this to continue to push to around these levels. So this structure will complete then this before we see a move to the upside. Let's look at Euro Pound. Right, before we look at Euro Pound, look at how clear the Pound ZAR structure is. We don't usually cover this because we just cover the US dollar ZAR, but this should go and retest the 21.22 level on a pound against the US dollar ZAR. So that's what we're going to be looking at there. Euro pound. Check out the crypto webinar shortly after this, guys, or you can check it on the channel immediately after this. So Euro pound on the daily, we are looking for this structure, this to come and retest this level here, come back down here and make a move like this. That will be a 1, 2, 3 wave corrective structure here. So push to the upside in the next coming sessions. We're still going to expect one more down to retest this level and then upside. EUROAUD, just like pound AUD, this continues to push to the upside. Any 4-hour or 1-hour corrective structures, we look for upside. The indicator is still showing us more upside, no divergence. Euro US dollar, rather Euro New Zealand. It's 3 waves to the downside. Let's show the structure. We are looking for upside here, 1, 2, 3, like that. We've got 1, 2, 3. We started with we had this corrective structure here, 1, 2, 3, just so you can see where this is coming from. So we're still looking for this one to keep pushing to the upside to around these levels. Then it will have made a clear WXY corrective structure here. It's a double correction. Excuse my text there. So WXY corrective structure, expecting a move to the upside still on Euro New Zealand. EURCAD. EUROCAD just going sideways. Eventually we will break to the upside, just like pound CAD. We will break to the upside and make a structure like this, but still we'll expect this to continue to the downside. That is just a 3-wave correction. US dollar CHF. US dollar CHF has reversed from the blue box that we have forecasted here. So the blue box is as follows. Was not the most convincing of blue boxes, but it played out nonetheless. So we've got this one making a pulsing move to the upside. We're going to look for a pullback and then upside. So this pullback, look for it on the 4-hour. So a 4-hour or 1-hour correction, you can look for a move to the upside. Right now, this is Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand, expect this. This is not going to push to the upside. We're going to expect this one to come around these levels. Make a structure like this, you can even still come down here. But we're not ready to push to the upside as yet. The indicators are not showing us a bounce to the upside on that. AUDCAD. So AUDCAD, after giving us this divergence, we saw a pulsing move to the upside, but it did not go anywhere. We could have this one here, bouncing up from current levels, push to the upside like that. AUDCHF. Messy structure still, but there's divergence here. We will see this make a 3-wave pullback. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD also making a 3-wave structure. This is bearish. Any 3-wave pullback will just be an opportunity to sell it some more, because we are bearish here. So if we do get this pullback, we'll be looking just to sell it. New Zealand CHF. Same, 3 waves down and 3 waves down here. We'll look for this to resume upside. So there is a 3-wave flat correction here. There's a 1, 2, 3 zigzag. There's a 1, 2, 3 zigzag, WXY corrective structure, and then we look for upside. Right, so that's what we're looking at on New Zealand CHF, CADJPY. So CADJPY, we've made this pulsing move. We have been in this corrective structure since the beginning of May, 1, 2, 3. We're looking for this to make a bounce to the upside. Does not look ready as yet. So it looks like we've got this as a complex correction. We're going to see CADJPY make another move to the downside as follows. So that move, we'll have to wait a bit. So then we'll look for this. 1, 2, 3. We've already started with a pulsing move down. We'll expect this to continue like that. That is CADJPY, and that's all the Forex pairs and the commodities. Now we're looking at the indices. Now, so the indices, I'm only going to look on the 4-hour time frames. So what have we been saying about S&P 500? We've been saying this since we got to this level from mid-May. We have been looking at this structure. 1, 2, 3. We're expecting these to reverse here and give us a structure like this and continue to the upside. Even when this was pushing to the upside here, we're still expecting that this is a valid Elliott wave structure. As long as it's a valid Elliott wave structure, we'll still forecast it. So now it is playing out exactly as we forecasted. This is the structure that we wanted, and we were looking for this to continue to the upside. But this will have to wait for confirmation, because this could be at the end of the move. We could be getting this to give us a deeper correction here on the S&P 500. So let's keep an eye on this. We can trade it back to around these levels. If you want upside here, we'll have to wait for that confirmation. The Dow Jones Industrial has been the one that has been giving us confirmation that we are going to get that structure on the S&P 500, because way before the S&P 500 started the drop from here, this was already coming down here as follows. Now, again, if this one does not reverse the Dow Jones Industrial, this is leading the S&P 500. We are now going to look for trade setups to the downside. Let's see which one confirms first. We're going to be watching that. NASDAQ has been playing out this running flat here, looking for more upside, but as it is now, we are currently at this structural level where this could come for another move to the downside. So let's have a look here. We have been looking at this to be a running flat and for this to continue pushing to the upside. But if we look at this now, we've made a move up in 3. We've made a move down here in 3, 1, 2, 3. We could have made another 3 waves here. We could still make another 3 waves to the downside here. So that means we're still going sideways and this structure is still in the making. So let's keep an eye on the DAX. Right, not the DAX, the NASDAQ rather. Now looking at the UK 100. Similarly, the UK 100, we expected this to come and take the top here and then make a move to the downside. Textbook as forecasted. We're looking for this one now to continue to around these levels. If we're going to resume higher, the trade setups will have to come around these levels. DAX. So we took DAX here from right at the bottom in the blue box. It's now making a pullback. So again, this could be the end of the move here on the DAX. So we've got this one here from this blue box after making this 3-wave corrective structure. We looked for a trade here. We got the trade there. We're looking for this to push to the upside. Now we're pushing back like this. So you must exit your setup, your trades from around these levels, because this could be the end of the move here, just like most of the indices. So watch out for this. Could be getting setups for downside on the DAX. Right, Nikkei. So the Nikkei, we also got this one from the blue box at this level. Looking for this to go all the way, but it does not look like it's ready to go all the way. And we're going to be looking for the Nikkei to make a pullback from current levels. And lastly, the Nifty. Nifty is showing us continuation to the upside. We're going to see this one make a bit of a move to the upside here. All right, guys, so the market is setting up very clearly. Be patient and trade responsibly. If you like what we do, please drop us a like. We also appreciate your feedback, so drop us a comment and also subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. And that bell notification button will give you an alert next time we upload a video. Please share the videos as well so it can reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. We will be getting the crypto, we'll be doing the crypto webinar immediately after this.